Greetings, citizens of Tetris. It is your old pal Vandweller back with more classic Tetris Monthly DAS Masters for August 2025. And what we've got for you right now, allegedly, I think, I could be wrong, is a top 16 matchup between Pkric and Bluescuti. Now, we were to have played that plus, that match, and then Avgeek, who had already defeated Merker. We were to have played both of those matches to get down to a semifinalist, but unfortunately, one of our players at the last moment became unavailable. So I think that we are just going to play that one single solitary solo match because, they're available. So we may as well play it, and then we can figure it out another time rather than reschedule the whole thing. So that's what we're going to do right now. Pkric versus Bluescuti in the yellow bracket, and then the winner of that will take on Avgeek at some later point. I don't know exactly when that will be, but I guess we'll figure it out. So that is our top 16 situation. Let's just give you a look at the top 8 and see where we're at overall. We have got 4 players who have made their way into the top 8: Avgeek, Chroma, Leo, and Zafanya Nenu. We're going to add one more to that. In fact, we will be, entirely filling out the top half of DAS Masters, so we'll know who our top 8ers are from orange and blue. And then I guess we'll have some more. When is the next DAS Masters? After today, there's none tomorrow. It's all Masters. Oh, but then DAS Masters red and pink top 16. That's going to be Scotto versus Dog, Meme versus Andy. That is going to happen on Wednesday at 7 p.m. So those red and pink, that, of course, you can never be too sure anymore. But that red and pink is supposed to resolve down to a semifinalist out of the red bracket. So that is the next DAS Masters action after this. And then we'll figure out, maybe we can tack on that Avgeek versus Bluescuti after that. Not sure, but I don't know. It depends on when players become available. All right, I'm going to take a look at the rules. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a solo one match and you don't need to go through the whole thing. But players, please make sure that you know that this is a best of 5. So the first player to 3 is the winner. Level 18 starts all the way through. Same piece sets re-rolled in between each game of the match. Make sure your hertz and input displays are turned on for this DAS Masters tournament. Don't pause unless the commentator tells you to. I'm the commentator, so if I tell you to pause, pause. If I don't, then don't. If you do experience technical issues like OBS hangups and internet outages and your computer starts churning or whatever, just keep playing. Assume your game is going to count until you hear otherwise from me. Do not pause. And then you go, oh, is it gonna count or what should I do? Just keep playing. Oh, did I say Bluescuti? I don't know. I don't assume that he's going to win at all, so I don't know. I don't think it's a Freudian slip. I think it's just a slip. All right. Anyway, please heed the spirit of DAS. It's a DAS tournament, not any other kind of tournament. And if you want to play something else, then go play one of the many other tournaments that exist, okay? Play DAS. The winner gets absolutely something, and that is a share in a prize pool, which stands right now at $800. We are $200 short of our $1,000 incentive. So if we get another $200 into the prize pool, we can pay the top 8, and that is a very nice thing to be able to do. Players can play 1 or 2 matches and know that they will, have a good shot at a prize. So let us get to $1,000 so we can pay our top 8. If you want to use, if you want to contribute to the prize pool, well, you should, because all our prize pools are 100% funded by you, the fans. So there's no other place that these funds come from. That is it. You sitting there alone. Point your finger at your own chest and pound it on there a few times and say, me, it's up to me, because that's who it's up to. Excuse me. Use the Matcherino command while you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube. That'll bring up some links, the one that says DM or DAS or DAS Masters. That's the one. Click on that to be taken to the landing page for this tournament with our prize pool partner, Matcherino. And top right-hand corner is where you log in. You can log in with your existing Twitch or YouTube account. And once you're logged in, excuse me, the right side of the screen has an orange button that says contribute. Click on that. It'll open up a box. And from there, you can hopefully figure it out if you've been on the internet for more than a day. Use the go.ctm.gg/DAS prize link to be taken there after this tournament. Excuse me. So, yeah, that's the prizes. Support the channel. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. A great way to do that is patreon.com/monthly Tetris, so you can make an ongoing pledge of support to keep this channel going, just like these people have done. Scott Gray, Jane the Window, K9, Tacky, Corporal, Shelby, Troy, Dan, Kim, Emerald, Potato, Cacket, Mila, and Jason. And if you're on YouTube, you got super chats and stickers and all that other super stuff. Channel memberships, gift channel memberships. Twitch, you got bit subs, gift subs. Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime Gaming subs. Good? Good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and refresh both of these players' streams. Hopefully they are streaming so we can stream them on this stream. All right, we got Bluescuti. Whoa, that's a Bluescuti and like whatever that's called. What is that? What's that movie thing where it's huge in front of you? All right. You forgot to click start streaming. Typical Peak. Okay, let's refresh Peak. All right, here we go. Cameraman. He's always got that little 0, 0 on there, that little timer. I think it's funny. All right, we're just getting our cameras set up here so that we can play Tetris for you. And players, you know, when you hear the original CTM music, you know it's time. Of course, have you been around here long enough to know the original CTM music? I don't know. Scooty's pretty new. Scooty knows. The trace vector music, right? All right. It's the peace music. Peace. There it is. Good luck, both of you, says Bluescuti's grandpa. Thank you, grandpa, says Bluescuti. Danny Cox says, yeah, Tetris. So everybody in chat is related to Bluescuti. Scooty practicing on 29 like a boss, says Texas. Including Peak. Yep, Peak is Godfather. No, isn't that Stanislaw? I don't know. It's all very complicated. I need a whole Scooty family tree. Very complicated. You're just the godfather of CTL, really. The Don Corleone of Tetris. Don't cross him, he'll frown at you. All right, players, the pieces are here. B372, E4, B372, E4. Stanislav was the godfather of us all. Indeed. Oma Red Star is here. Oh my God, Oma. All right, folks, looks like it's time for us to play some Tetris. B372E4. Yes, both players are on seat. Both players are ready. Let's get them started before they change their minds. It is the yellow bracket. Pkric and Bluescuti. It says round one, but it's really the top 16. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. On the left side of your screen, it is Pkric, who qualified into seed number 8 with a 1.09 average of his best 2 games played in a 1-hour qualifying period. In virtue of his top 8 seeding, Pkric got a 2-round bye. So it's the round of 16, and this is Pkric's first match in this tournament. He's got a DAS PB of 1.20 million. That's a top 70 score. I remember when, like, anybody with a 1.2 is like a top 20 player, but now everybody's getting a 1.2, except for me, pretty much. Pkric is, well, this is Pkric's 8th appearance in DAS Masters. He's finished in the semis one time, trying to get back there. That was in August of 2024, our second month. He's played in Mega Masters 4 times. All 4 times we've held Mega Masters, Pkric's been in it. Even in our early year when it was only 32 people. Oh my God. Can you imagine running a tournament with 32 people? Thank God we only do that once a year. Holy moly. And Pkric has also been in the regular Masters event 4 additional times, but not since... Well, no, he's been, yeah, he has been, but he's been, and he's made it to the top 16 one time, or at least most recently in October of 2023. He hasn't made the top 16 since we went to the 32-player format, but any day now, I believe. Pkric is a one-time CTWC gold bracket player. That was in 2021, the second online year. He's also played in the silver bracket a few times with some success. Top 4 in 22, top 8 in 20. And is also one of the organizers and streamers and YouTube. I don't know. Ringmaster over there at CTL. He's got some big role in Classic Tetris League. So it's Pkric trying to go on a run. 236 for him, 258 for Bluescuti, and on the right side it is Bluescuti, qualified into seed number 9 with a 1.066 million. He got a 1-round bye because of his top 16 seeding. And he defeated Means Egg in round 2 to get here to the top 16, 305 for him right now. Bluescuti from the USA has got a DAS PB. It says 1.14, but is that still right? I don't know. I feel like that might be old information. We'll see, but anyway, Bluescuti was ranked number 2 in the Open Premier poll and number 13 in the DAS poll. So you can find the full results of both the Open and the DAS polls at premierpoll.com. Premier with an E at the end. Scooty is a 6-time CTM Masters winner. One of those times was Lone Star in 2024. 5 of those times was in the monthlies. He's been in Mega Masters 3 times and twice finished in the semi-finals. This is Scooty's 5th appearance in DAS Masters. He's finished as high as the top 8, which he did in May of this year. So trying to equal that. And if he wins this match, he can do that. He's also won a Challenger circuit back in October of 2023. He's been in gold bracket of CTWC 3 times, finished in the top 4 twice, both this year and in 23. Was second in the Jonas Cup, that's CTWC's North American DAS Championship. And he was in 3rd place in CTWC's World DAS Championship in Germany just a few weeks ago, a month ago, I don't know, something like that, last month. So that is Bluescuti. By the way, also the first player to crash the game, as you know. And, the level 29 world record, level 29 start world record holder. So he's got a lot of stuff going on, this Bluescuti. 471 for him, 526 for Pkric. But we don't need to beat you over the head with Bluescuti facts. There's a lot of Bluescuti facts out there. $495 for Bluescuti. There's a Tetris. 518, 549. Pkric as we approach level 19, where the speed is going to increase by 50%. And that will be basically the fastest playable speed for any length of time in a game mode where getting to level 30 is still kind of a big deal. Level 29 will knock out nearly every single game when playing DAS. 647 for Pkric. He's in level 20 now. Scooty's up to 20 at 615. So these are good paces. This tournament is best of 5. Did we decide that it's best of 7 in the finals? I forgot. Last time we did best of 7, right? I guess we got to do best of 7 again. I don't even remember because we took a month off of DAS Masters and did Tap Masters, but I think it's best of 7. Yeah, it's been best of 7 since March. Avgeek, you got to understand, I am like goldfish, right? You know how goldfish, what is the thing that happens to goldfish? I forget. No, I'm just kidding. If it's not in front of them, it doesn't exist. I got a memory like a goldfish. All right, so if you were expecting to see Avgeek today, I believe that is not going to happen because of just some availability issues. So they say memory is the second thing to go. How true. All right, 832 for Pkric. Here's a Tetris Pkric. So Pkric with a big lead right now. A couple Tetrises in a row for Scooty. They're 2 lines apart. Almost 100,000 point lead for Pkric right now. And 40 lines to go until level 29. So pretty much all the scoring these players are going to do, it's got to happen in the next, 30 to 40 lines. Chasedown helpfully reminds me that Andy won last month. All right. Thank you. 940 for Pkric. 807 for Bluescuti. Pkric into 27. Ahead by 5 lines. This is a real lead for Pkric in this game 1. Oh, who won last month? Oh, I missed that. Pkric with a Tetris into 28 with the max out A17. So Scooty is either going to have to go super perfect or have a miraculous run into 29, which is not going to happen. And Scooty going to top out at 885. So Pkric is good in game number 1. Squirrel in the flannel, welcome. Chasedown is here. Cole is here. Zook is here. New pieces are here. Players E2, F2, 7-1. What's up, YouTube? Titan is here. Sonic, Egg Chip, Jungle Cook, Steel. They're all here. So nearly a 1.1 in game number 1 from Peak. So that is a big score in DAS even to this day. And handily takes that game 1. Dang, my capture laggy 1 second. I wasn't going to mention it because laggy is better than nothing, and I'm worried about nothing. But, all right. Hemalizer's here. My God, everybody is here. So, just the one single solitary match tonight. All right, E2, F2, 7-1. Both players ready. Game number 2. Peak and Scooty. Peak up 1 game to none. So 200 away from our $1,000 top 8 incentive. If we get to that 1,000, we will pay the top 8 players in the bracket instead of just the top 4. So if you want to help make that happen, please use the Matcherino command while you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube. Bluescuti setting up the delayed Vits. We'll see if the game punishes him. No, the game rewards him with a bar and another bar to get a Tetris. 46,000 for Scooty as we get underway, and there's another one. All right, players getting their initial Tetrises. The 5 and below for Scooty. I still am not good enough to just feel confident to adjust for that, even just on level 18. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to see it quickly enough or adjust for it quickly enough. So Scooty on a whole other plane of existence than I am. Someday I want to grow up to be just like Bluescuti. Tetris for Peak, 99,118 for Scoots. Zook says me too. Tetris for Scooty, 145. There's one for Peak, 129. Hemalizer says I can only play level 4. All right, Scooty here. This is not an easy board to deal with, so fortunate to get a couple pieces here for that left side. You think, oh, it's so easy. What? I see players all the time surviving up there, but we are playing DAS, my friend. You're very limited with regard to what you can get over, how high, how quickly. And that is the challenge of this play style. Scooty's still bringing this down. Peak out to a 60,000 point lead, adding another Tetris onto that. And another one. So Scooty in a costly dig early on. Taknerus is here, says, I also want to grow up like Bluescuti. Unfortunately, I'm only growing sideways. Can confirm. No, I kid, of course. My good friend Taknerus. What's going on, Tacky? Tetris Scooty, 264. It's all that barbecue and chicken sandwiches and all that. You gotta make Tetris healthy again. Right? We all gotta go outside and touch grass. Right? Tetris for Scooty, 356, 433 for Peak. You actually brought some grass inside to streamline the process. That's smart. 403 for Bluescuti, 457 for Peak. So both players, good boards. In a rhythm. Scooty ahead by 3 lines, back by 77,000 points. That's 3.5 Tetrises. Tetris is here worth 22,800. Tetris for Scooty, 428, 503 for Peak. Wallbant in chat says, let's go, Das. Yeah. Of course, Wallbant. It had already played in this tournament, but is no longer in the tournament. Next time. However, Wallbant is in the top 8 of the Masters event. 480 transition here for Bluescuti, and he gets a Tetris right after getting in there. 621 entry for Peak into 19. That is huge. See Peak putting up a lot of big paces with Das. Oh, the long bar gets over for Scooty, 534, just barely. Just scraping the top of that board with that piece. And this is a very tough down stack here. That T gets over. All right, row by row, Scooty bringing this down. Oh, the early shift of the Z. That is going to slow things down considerably. And not only slow things down, it's also very dangerous when you lose Das like that on a board that high on 19. But Scooty handling it. And he's open on the right. Taking some skims here, weathering a drought and a Tetris after losing Das again. He's able to regain it. That is tricky. Scooty at 582, 761 for Peak, and he gets another. The lines are tied, and Peak has a 200,000 point lead. There's another big lead for Peak in this one. 500 bits from McMonkey. Thank you, McMonkey. I'll read your message in a moment once our players are brought back down to safety a little bit here. Okay. McMonkey says, one of the most retro things about CTM is Vandy commentary. I can never tell when he's being sarcastic or sincere, and there's nothing more 90s than that. Oh, my goodness. I don't know how to take that. I guess you just have to figure it out. All right, intonation. Although, you know, if you're older, I think it's easier to just accept that. I think younger people have a more difficulty with that, just generally. Oh no, Peak having difficulty with that, moving that piece over to the right side. That's going to be a top out for Peak at 871. So Scooty in a chase down needs to get to 872. That would ensure it. He's got the time. He needs 90,000 points. Tetris is here worth over 30,000. So he needs the bars to come though. And there's a bar, 827. And this is the thing about the chase down this deep in a game. Sometimes it's not up to you because you can get droughted for a lot of pieces. Scooty here won't need any more Tetris. He's got all the Tetrises he needs, so he can single this out. There's 4 Tetrises or 780, right? Oh, there are more than that actually because that's on 18. So Scooty is good in game number 2. So Peak at one point was up like 200,000 points. And you would think, oh, you're up 200,000 points. There's no way anyone comes back from that. But Peak with that top out on 25, he had a 600K transition. And I feel like that sometimes that 600K transition can be a bit of a curse at times. So Scooty gonna take game number 2. I gotta admit, I'm a little shocked. McMonkey says, I'm in my mid-40s and you're an enigma. It is very 90. There's a lot of rhetorical irony and sarcasm and things like that. People spoke that way. All right, let's get both players' pieces. But the thing is, right? You gotta... A lot of it is the source of the person, you know? Like, if you're listening to a trusted, benevolent, good-natured, well-intentioned person, it would be very weird if all of a sudden they started being out and out nasty, all right, unprovoked. So then you just assume everything in the best possible way, right? So it's easy. So always assume that I mean it in the best way possible unless I'm provoked. In which case, oh, I'll get nasty. All right, let's look at these pieces. Yes, 3CFED9. Okay, well, both players are ready. Let's get them started. Game number 3, what was once a best of 5, now becomes a best of 3. Starting off with the T, the S, the Z, and the Z. Okay, I have this insulated Stanley bottle. It's not the one that went viral or whatever. It's just one I had, you know. I've always been a Stanley guy, even when they were just like, before they were, you know, influencers and all that, special bottles. But I'm spinning it around on my table, and it kind of wobbled a little bit while I was spinning it, and it made it sound like I made an indiscreet sound. But I assure you, it was just me spinning this bottle around, not a gastrointestinal problem. I want to assure you, lest anyone think. 577 for Bluescuti, 92,000 for Peak. Not at all. You know, listen, I have a dynamic mic. That means you got to be right up close to the mic in order to hear anything. There's no way an indiscreet sound would travel that far, that loud. It would have shaken the apartment. Okay. Poyo says we all do it at some point. It's okay. Oh yeah, I would tell you. I would admit it. I am a person who admits it. Take responsibility for everything, even that, right? 110 for Bluescuti, 188 for Peak. But let's see if I can get it to do it again. Ready? Oh, now it's not. Of course, it won't do it. Anyway, oh, we had $100. Did I miss that? We had $100 go into the prize pool from Fractal 7th Roommate. Is that right? Is that who it was? Fractal former roommate. Sorry, I can't keep track of all of Fractal's various roommates, whether it's 7th roommate, former roommate. He's got all kinds of different roommates. Fractal former roommate says, make Tetris healthy. Isn't Canes the poster child of Tetris players? Well, yeah, Canes is like, I would love to get a raising, like sponsorship. That would be amazing. I do love that. For junk food, fast food, whatever. I love Canes. Maybe I'll reach out. You know, maybe they'd do it. Maybe they would. for the lulls, for the memes, just because it's random. You know, if they got like a meal named after Snoop Dogg or whatever, they can drop some money in the prize pool or support the channel, right? You thought I meant Walking Cane? No, I mean Raising Cane's, the chicken finger restaurant chain in the United States. Sorry, Europeans. I don't think you guys have canes or whatever. What is the hertz limit of DAS and tapping? Oh boy, Scooty is up high. Oh, and he gets a triplet of Tetris just in time and another Tetris to bring it down. So DAS limit, just straight, if you're not doing anything special, 10 hertz. If you add a quick tap, a single quick tap, then you can sort of get the equivalent of 12 hertz. And then tapping, hyper tapping, you know, most players are, you know, the good tappers, like decent tappers, are hanging out around 13 with bursts up to 15, and then elite tappers will, you know, have bursts and consistency higher than that. And don't even get me started on wigglers. So Peak up high here. This is going to be tough to survive. We'll see what Peak can do. See if he can try to eke out some extra points or even survive this. I don't know how he's going to do it, and he's not. That is going to be a top out for Peak at 436. The target for Scooty is 437. It was 436, 620. So Scooty needs to get to 437. If you're Alex T, it's 20 hertz tapping. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a special instance. 430. All right, there it is. Scooty is good. 451. He's going to get it without having to do anything on 19. The Scooty is up 2 games to 1. You thought you were ahead? You were not ahead. If I said anything to indicate to you that you were ahead, my apologies, but you were not. All right, new pieces. 83E1D4. But you are now. Anyway, we're up to 900 in that prize pool, so that means we're just $100 short of our top 8 incentive. So, you know, how many people are watching right now? You got 91 on Twitch. You probably got half that on YouTube. Everybody came in with $1. If 10 of you came in with $10, we'd be there. All right, looks like both players are good. Game number 4. Peak needs to win to force a deciding game 5. Scooty looking to wrap it up right now. Game number 4. If 20 of you came in with $5, right? Just 20 people. Vandy, what's your favorite breakfast food? First of all, nearly every breakfast food is my favorite food. Breakfast is my favorite meal or category of meal or category of food. Like, I love breakfast foods. Everything about it, nearly everything. But I have, approximately 30% of my body mass is like breakfast sandwiches. I love breakfast sandwiches. And I was thinking about this the other day. Like, if I had to start a food truck, it would be all day breakfast sandwiches. Anything, you know, like Just whatever you eat. Egg, bacon, cheese, ham on a bagel, on a muffin, on whatever you got. Now, in terms of a specific the line spin from Scooty. In terms of a specific dish, yeah, Eggs Benedict, fantastic. It's basically an open-faced breakfast sandwich, right? So it's kind of the same thing. But everybody, pancakes, waffle, love all that, but I love the breakfast sandwich. Salmon and schmear, sure, you got it. Whatever you got. Bagels, eat the hell out of some bagels. For DAS Masters, is 10 hertz the max allowed? Well, we don't measure it as far as hertz goes because players are not allowed to hyper tap necessarily, but in the middle of the board, like a 2 and 3 tap where these players, if they lose DAS and an emergency tap in the middle of the board, if it exceeds 10 hertz, it wouldn't be a big deal, if that happened on occasion. We don't want sustained tapping, fast or slow. So we pretty much say like 2 and 3 taps in the middle of the board are unrestricted because those are just like playing in the middle of the board and you can get, But we also don't want you slow tapping throughout the entire tournament because it's a DAS tournament. So if you say it's 10 hertz the max that is allowed, like no tapping, 4 and 5 taps left and right, definitely not allowed. But, if you're a regular DAS player and you lose DAS, you might tap something 4 times slow, because you haven't recovered DAS. So that happens. It's kind of part of the DAS playstyle. It's not the thing where you can just say, well, DAS playstyle means you never tap a piece. You always maintain DAS the whole time because no real DAS player ever does that. So. Yeah, everyone 4 taps bars to the right. Yeah, of course. Not every time, but it happens. Crimson Craft says, I thought it was like if the move's possible on DAS, it's okay, but keep it all DAS. No, I wouldn't say that. First of all, the rule set here is definitely not if it's DAS possible, then you can just tap the whole way through. But, if somebody 2 taps in the middle of the board and hits 12 hertz one time, no, you go, oh, disqualified. No. Now, if someone does routinely tap throughout the tournament, and it happens all the time, I do reserve the right to require a given player at my discretion to turn on DAS mode. Because maybe they just can't help it. In which case, if they want to compete, they have to do it under that restraint or constraint. Listen, if you have to ask all these questions, you're not ready to play DAS Masters. Okay. But anyway, yes. The more important question is breakfast. Oh my God. I really have thought about, should I just quit CTM and open a breakfast sandwich all day food truck? I've been thinking about that the last couple of weeks. 518 for Peak, 532 for Scooty. Peak is into 19. Scooty now into 19. 558 is the transition score. Am I too scared to do a 2-frame wall charge? Apparently you are. That's DAS, man. But I would not say it's everybody 4 taps all their pieces to the right. That is not true at all. Someone might occasionally do it, and everyone might occasionally do it, but everyone is not always doing it, right? That's not DAS. That's not SOD, let us say. 622 for Scooty. He's on 21. 626 for Peak. Now, there are other DAS tournaments that have different rules. Oh, that Z to the left. It's going to slow Peak down a little bit. Bluescuti is not in a position to capitalize, and in fact, he might not even be in a position to survive. Let's see what he can do here. Peak's still ahead. Well, Scooty bringing this down. That long bar is going to help for a triple. But yeah, there are other Tetris, DAS tournaments and leagues that may have a different approach, but this approach is for this tournament. All right, Scooty is set up. He would love a quick one here because he's been burning for a while, but he's close. Oh, there's a Tetris. So Scooty now in the lead with the lines tied. And Scooty, you can see him quick tapping a piece to the left side. Oh, that early shift of the square. He gets the Tetris, but that's going to slow him down a little bit. Peak is set up. And Peak gets a Tetris, retakes the lead, basically one line apart. But essentially it's tied. In fact, I want a breakfast sandwich like right now. Just talking about it. Oh, I hate you guys so much. You're always talking about food. All right, I'm gonna find a way to get a breakfast sandwich after this. I think we have some frozen bagels somewhere. Tetris for Peak, 855, 793 for Scooty. So Scooty in the next 20 lines has got to find a way to get into the lead. The delayed burn with the line spin. Entertaining as heck. Let's see how it works out. He's going for the Tetris on the left side. I gets it, 867. He is behind by 90,000 points. He's got 7 lines to go. There's a Tetris for Scooty, 906. I think he's got to set up for 2. And Peak needs to convert this one and does at 999. So Scooty's really got to get 3. And he is not going to do it. But double 29s, 900Ks for both players. Near max out for Peak. And Peak is going to tie this up and force a deciding game number 5. What would you put on a grilled cheese? I like a very simple... Okay, my favorite grilled cheese is the Alton Brown grilled cheese. So if you look up the Alton Brown, this is like when I'm really trying hard. The Alton Brown grilled cheese, heat up to... it's way too much work, but it's worth it. Sourdough, Dijon mustard, a lot of pepper, shredded cheese... heated between 2 cast iron skillets. Holy moly. That's my Alton Brown is a TV chef. He doesn't really have any shows on anymore, but kind of I learned to cook well by watching his show. He's not a chef, he's a cook. He's a TV cook. All right, looks like both players are ready. 8D, CCAD, both players are on seed and are ready. So let's get him started. It's a decider. Oh my God, decider time. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. You're so hungry that this is not helping you stick to your diet. Oh, bacon and tomato. Yeah, that's good. I don't add tomatoes to things unless I absolutely must by the nature of the dish, because tomatoes give me skin problems because of I have autoimmune reactions to tomatoes and other nightshades. So Ideally, I would never have them, but, you know. Sometimes I am ruled by my passions, and I must have something with tomato. But bacon, good. Ham, good. And a grilled cheese. But yeah, like shredded, sharp cheddar, like a whole bunch of it. It's all bubbly and burned on the sides, you know? Like crackly. Oh my God, that's the best. You guys are killing me. You're going to go get the ingredients for the Alton Brown grilled cheese right now. What's up, Green Mario? Sonic says, to change the topic, what is the best or worst Tetris advice you've ever received or given? That's all right. So I have a chart of best, worst, received, given. So there's like 4 possibilities. I've never given any good Tetris advice. I am not good at Tetris. So that already eliminates half of the possibilities. Best piece of advice I've gotten, you know, that's a tough one. Is there any what's good advice I've gotten? I mean, nothing has worked so far. So, I mean, the best advice I could get is to quit and go do something else with your time. That would be the best advice. $248 for Peak, $262 for Bluescuti. I saw the short. That's where I got the question. Oh, well, that's not my short. I'm sure that's what, Classic Tetris Network? I don't know. Is this notorious? I'm probably known, or at least some people probably remember. Anyway, let's put it that way. I don't like questions that start with, what is your favorite? What is your best? What is the best? Like, I don't know. I'm bad at those questions. I get stymied because I'm like, well, is it the best? What is the actual best? So I get, like, you know, so if someone said, what is a good, like, what is a show you, if someone said, what is your favorite TV show? I'm like, I don't know. Someone said, what's a good TV show? I could give you an answer, right? But anyway, I have received no good advice. So, you know, great way to start is just play 19.2 B-type if you're a DAS player. Play it until you can clear it all the time. Who is your favorite monthly Tetris commentator? Me. It's me. 410 for Bluescuti, 436 for Peak. You know, I got to admit, you know, sometimes I'll tune in to YouTube, and, you know, when I'm watching on TV, you know, we kind of watch our YouTube stuff on our TV, right? So I got to go through my subscriptions and watch whatever I'm going to watch, you know, sitting on the couch on the TV. And I'll occasionally, you know, say, oh, what's the latest thing that Dan V has uploaded? And I'll go and look for comments to see who's, you know, being nasty to me, make sure no one is. And sometimes I hear, like, myself on there, and I'm like, you know, this isn't too bad. Like, this isn't bad. Like, this is pretty good. I like this guy. So I suppose that's better than hating it all the time, which I probably used to do. But now, sometimes I'll sit and listen for like 10 minutes and be like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. 549 for Bluescuti, 554 for Peak. Here's a Tetris for Scoot. Now, if I listen to my old stuff, like way back in the day, yeah, it's still a bit cringe. But nowadays, I think I'm okay. I actually feel good. 596 for Scooty, 581 for Peak. Pretty much simultaneously getting into 19. Scooty ahead by about 16,000 points. All right, Tetris for Peak, 611, 626. For Scooty, level 20. Pollo just continually roasting in the chat is hilarious to me. I love that. All right, Pete gonna use, Scooty gonna use that S flat. And it's like moments like that where I realize like I am doing something totally different than good players are doing, right? Because I would have done something totally different. 669 for Bluescuti, 698 for Peak. So Peak right now in the lead. Scooty's board a little bit high, but he's got burns. This is tough. That left side could use an L, but he can't get that T. I knew he needed that L. He couldn't quick tap that T over. That is a top out for Bluescuti, and Peak is going to advance to the top 8. I was like, as soon as I saw that T, my instinct was don't try to get that T over there. Just try to hold out for an L piece. The L was coming. Oh, no. He tried. There was an attempt. Bluescuti did great. Congratulations on being here and being you. And Peak, you will be moving on to the top 8. And you will be taking on Avgeek at some point in the future. Let's go ahead and report this as a 3-2 for Peak. So Peak trying to get back to that semifinal for the first time in about a year. I think it was August of 24 when he got into that semi. So trying to get, or not semis, but yeah, into the semis. So Peak trying to get back in. He's got a shot now. All right, Peak gonna go for the max, trying to start a max back-to-back max streak. Needs one more, so we'll have to remember when he gets it that he did it, so we can keep track of the streak. So there's the max for Peak, and now I think he's going to practice the sort of going for 2 strategy, because it's always good to do it, even if the game is over. Good to do it in a competitive setting just to get the reps in. And not going to be able to get it, but doesn't matter because you have more than enough. So congrats, Peak. You're making it in. Blithering Tripe said, just tuned in, didn't realize it was Das and was so confused. Haha. All right. Well, Peak, you're going to have to go back and scroll up through the chat and see all the roasting that Pollo was doing of you. All right. Thanks, Peak. We will see you again in the future. Guys, that is it. So, also, I missed a, well, I'll get it when I come back around to it. So I did miss a Matcherino $5 from someone, but all right, let's we'll let this come back around. And we will thank the people who have supported the stream during the stream. So thanks to the new follower, Helter Schmelter and Francesca. Twitch bits from McMonkey, 500 bits. It's a lot of bits. Thank you, McMonkey. Appreciate the support. Prize pool, we have gotten to 905. We started at 800. That 105 is courtesy of 2 people. Fractal Former Roommate. So thank you, Fractal Former Roommate. And then Trans Rights came in with $5. It says, if 10,000 of you came in with 1 cent, yeah, we'd be like way ahead of the game. So thank you, Fractal Former Roommate and Trans Rights. Appreciate that. So That's that. Who are we going to thank also? Yeah, patrons. Thank you, patrons. Patreon.com/monthly Tetris. Scott Gray, Janie, Window K, Nantaki, Corporal, Shelby, Troy, Ant, Game, Emerald, Potato, Cat, Mula, Jason, and everybody on this slide. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, we've got more Tetris for you, and it's going to be Masters all the way to top 16 brackets, actually. Tomorrow, it's going to be the blue and purple top 16. This is like a bracket of all time. It's got Meme and Guafi. That's a matchup. Cole and Tugi. That's a very intriguing matchup. So can't wait for that. And then we're also going to do green and teal. We already have Wallbant, who's in from the teal side. So it's going to be Dog versus Dangler, and then winner versus Wallbant. So we are going to determine 2 of our semifinalists. In fact, both of our remaining semifinalists, because Pixelandy and Knight are already in. So that should be a good day tomorrow. Hopefully we don't get any last minute cancellations. Cancellations. Oh my God. It's the mold. I swear it's the mold. All right. All right. We will see you all tomorrow. YouTube, have a great day. Vandy, July Tap Finals, not going to end before August. Yeah, I think they're going to be on Saturday, actually. That looks like what is happening. But it's not on the schedule yet, but I think there's a good chance it's going to happen on Saturday. So, all right, we will see you all tomorrow. YouTube, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Bye-bye. Twitch, going to find you a nice home, a beautiful home. Where is a nice home for you? I don't know. There's somebody saying they're derusting, but I don't know who it is. I don't know. But they're not on camp, so. But they are. I don't know who that is. Mic off. All right. Well, we'll just go to Classic Tetris because everybody else is like streaming to Classic Tetris and all that. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate that. Classic Tetris is our friend. Mostly. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Bye.